Oh, these are some stinkers here. Whew. Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 worst horror movie remakes, in my opinion. Yes, I did my top 10 best or favorite horror movie remakes. Now let's talk about the worst. My least favorite movies that are remade and that they're horror films, if you call it horror films. Some of them are just funny, but still, these are awful, garbage, piece of shit films that they never should have been remade. Sometimes when a movie is almost perfect, you shouldn't remake it just because it did well in the box office and you're like, hey, let's remake it because money! Stupid. Just so fucking stupid. And a lot of these movies are just stupid Hollywood cash grabs that just don't work. And yeah, I'm here to talk about it. Let's just get into it. Here's my top 10 worst horror movie remakes, in my opinion. And as always, before top 10 list, you gotta have your dishonorable mentions. My dishonorable mentions are Mirrors, Poltergeist, Prom Night, The Hitcher, My Bloody Valentine, Texas Chainsaw 3D, and Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. All shitty films, just couldn't make the top 10 list. But we did know my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is When a Stranger Calls. The original is not that good either, so this could only go up, right? No, they managed to be even dumber than the original classic, which wasn't even that good of a film. This movie ended up being less scary, less interesting, and just have even shittier acting. What's her name's in this movie? I think her name's Camilla Bell or something. She's terrible in this movie. She's so bad. She's so stupid too. Like, there's this guy that just calls her. He's like, "Have you checked the children?" Just like, she's just like, "Oh my god, let's call the cops." And the cops are like, "The call's coming from in the house," and she's like, "Oh my god." So instead of like grabbing the kids and just running out of the fucking house, no, she just runs around the house screaming and yelling and trying to get help even though there's no one to help her. It's so dumb. And the funny thing is this guy that's after her has no motivation, which is fine because that can be very terrifying, but he's just like hunting this girl for no reason. And again, that could be interesting if they layer it a little bit, but no, you don't even see the guy until like the ending, and he just looks like some creepy dude. That's it. There's nothing interesting or scary about this movie, and it's just kind of laughable and just easily one of the worst remakes out there. It's terrible. Coming in number 9 is One Missed Call. I didn't even know this was a remake. I don't know what it's a remake of. I think it's like a Japanese film. I don't care, but this movie sucks. This is 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's all I gotta say. I talked about this movie a couple times. It's just bad, shitty acting, shitty effects. It's no scares at all. It's just stupid. Coming in number 8 is Carrie. I was never gonna put this on my list, but actually now thinking about it, it's just such an awful film. And just, you're ruining a timeless classic like Carrie. Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma, is such a great and timeless film. Such a gem. You shouldn't touch it, make a sequel to it, or definitely don't remake it. It doesn't need to be remade. And all the remake did was tell the same story and then just add special effects. That's it. They don't even use the same clever ending that the original Carrie had. The original Carrie was a tragic story. It was also super terrifying because this girl was being picked on. Because that happens literally in high school, and her mother is just an absolute psycho nutjob. And the saddest thing is, Carrie doesn't even get a happy ending. All she did was defend herself and just want to go to prom, but all these people are after her, and she still doesn't even get a happy ending. It's absolutely sad and tragic. Sissy Spacek is absolutely incredible in the original film. And this one has Chloe Grace Perez, and she's just kind of bland and wooden and stale and not at all intimidating. And then Julianne Moore, which was a good choice, but even she wasn't good in this film because it was all about direction. The director had no idea what he was doing and had no idea how to make a proper Carrie remake. And honestly, it's a lose-lose situation because you cannot remake Carrie. Carrie is a great standalone film. You can't remake it. You can't get any better than Carrie, so why the fuck did they remake it? I don't know. Coming in number 7 is Friday the 13th. Yes, the 2009 Friday the 13th. A lot of horror junkies and Friday the 13th fans give me shit for hating this movie. Critics hate it, so critics are on my side, but Friday the 13th fans love it because they love how just slasher and boobs and slasher and blood and guts, and that's what Friday the 13th is. I get that. But I thought this remake would actually do something different, because Friday the 13th is not a good franchise. It's not. It's a mindless, stupid action franchise that has no layers and doesn't even really have a lot of good characters. They're not really good films. I've seen all of them, and I don't really like any of them. Part 4 is okay, I guess, but still, I don't like those movies. Part 1's okay, too, but still, they're not great films. I thought this remake would actually do something different and make us give a shit about Jason Voorhees, make us give a shit about these characters, but no. It just kills these characters off in the first opening scene, and then it goes to another scene, and they bring in new characters, and they all get killed off, and all they do is show their boobs and get killed, and that's it. There's nothing to these characters and stuff. There's also this girl, he thinks, like, she's a reincarnation of his mother, and it's so dumb and so stupid. Jason Voorhees is just this big dude with no personality, so he's not scary. Like, I know Michael Myers doesn't talk, but at least he is scary the way he walks and blends into the darkness. He's actually scary. Jason's not scary. And this movie just sucks. Coming in number 6 is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, the original was amazing, and I don't know why they remade it. This was in 2010, I think? 2010? Terrible film. Not good at all. Jackie Earle Haley was trying. I give him that. He was trying something different, trying something new. But unfortunately, the movie he was in was just so horribly written and terribly directed and horribly acted. There was no winning for him. So, and you could actually remake Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, you can remake Friday the 13th as well and just make it interesting. But you can actually remake Nightmare on Elm Street and make it different stuff. Maybe make Freddy Krueger an actual sympathetic villain and stuff, instead of making him just really terrifying like Robert Englund did, which really worked, because Robert Englund's the fucking man. But this one, they tried to go that route, then they're like, oh, no, he's an actual psychopath. So I thought, like, oh, they're actually going to make him like a good guy, and he was killed innocently. But no, he was a fucking pedophile. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. I thought they were going to go in a different route, but apparently not. And the scares are boring and just, they don't work. The acting is so bad, and the kills are boring, and they try to do this micro-nap thing that could be cool, but it's just an excuse to have Freddy pop up out of nowhere with shitty jump scares. Rooney Mara hated this movie so much, he almost quit acting because of this film. So yeah, this movie's shit. It will never be as good as like Wes Craven's New Nightmare or the original Nightmare or Dream Warriors. And it's dumb. And again, you can remake Nightmare on Elm Street, but this is not the way to do it. Coming in number 5 is The Fog. Oh, God. Tom Welling in The Fog. Way to go, Clark Kent. The original Fog, directed by John Carpenter, is good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. It's entertaining for what it is, but this one's so bad. It's a shitty PG-13 horror movie that has shitty effects, shitty acting, shitty characters, and again, 0 scares, so don't bother with it. Coming in number 4 is The Haunting. The Haunting is such a disgrace because The Haunting, the original one directed by Robert Wise, is such a great film. And it's not just really about ghosts. It's a psychological film about, people with insomnia and everything, and about if something's all in someone's head or not, and if the ghosts and how they haunt you, do they haunt you psychologically and everything. You never actually get to see the ghosts. It's a very, deep film, the original Haunting. This one, there's no deepness to it, there's no subtlety about it, it's just a bunch of people in a mansion and a bunch of shitty CGI ghosts. That's it. There's no subtlety in this film, and there's no creativity in this film. Liam Neeson, Lily Taylor, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson, all good actors, all wasted in this shitty, terrible film that gave no justice to a great source material. Coming in number 3 is House of Wax. See, I admire this movie for being something different, because I believe when you remake something, be different. Do something different. Don't just copy the original film, or just take all the good things about the original film and just put it in your movie like fucking Nightmare on Elm Street did. This one did something so different, which is cool. I admire it did something different. Unfortunately, what they did was so dumb and just so confusing and just so lazy that it just doesn't work. The original House of Wax with Vincent Price is a great film. A very terrifying film. Vincent Price is fucking badass in that movie. This one's about these two brothers, and they have this abandoned wax museum, and then these people, these teenagers, of course they gotta be teenagers, they go to this town, and it's abandoned, and this wax museum, and they they like take each of these teenagers one at a time and wrap them in wax and stuff, and just there's a lot of things that I have like a lot of questions for. Like, why is this town abandoned? Why did they have this wax museum? Why did they wrap them in wax? Like, there's so many things that just don't make sense. And there's like a twist that the goofy dude is like their other brother, and did he just like lure them to the town? It doesn't really make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense. You don't know the motivation of these people. They wrap people in wax and kill them and stuff. But you really don't know why. And knowing why adds layers to the characters. But no, they're just crazy. That's just kind of it. They're crazy people. It has like the typical like 2000s actors like Alicia Cuthbert, Jared Padalecki, Chad Michael Murray, Paris Hilton. Funniest part of that movie is when she dies, but still. It's not a good film. I don't really like it. It's easily like, it's up there as like one of my least favorite horror films. Like, it could have been something great because it did something different. But it just ended up being just a generic, stale horror film that no one gives a fuck about. Coming in number 2 is Not the Bees! Not the Bees! Yes, The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man. This should be number 1 because it is like one of the worst horror films you could ever watch because this movie's a failure on all counts. Just number 1 pissed me off more, so that's why number 1's my number 1. But this is the worst horror film I've ever seen in my entire life. It is so bad, horribly directed, and Nicolas Cage is so terrible in this movie. But it's funny. This movie is so funny. It's so quotable and it's hilarious. Like, some of the shit they do in this movie is insane with the bees, and he's in a bear suit punching an old lady, and there's a lot of insane shit in this film, and it's watchable at least. It's one of the worst films you will ever watch, but it's pretty funny. And my number 1 worst horror movie remake, in my opinion, is Psycho. It's Gus Van Sant's Psycho. Because no effort into this movie. Just, Psycho, the original 1960s classic, which is one of the greatest horror films ever, let's just copy it. Shot for shot, remake it. But it's in color, and it's got different actors. And they're not even as good as the Vera Miles or Janet Leigh or Anthony Perkins, but they're there. I hate this movie. This is Gus Van Sant. I love Gus Van Sant, because, again, he did Good Will Hunting. This is his worst film. This has no effort into it, and just like, hey, if you never saw Psycho, just watch our movie, because it's literally the same damn movie. And I'm like, most people have seen Psycho, and why would they want to watch this movie when they could just watch Psycho? Psycho is a master of work, of Hitchcock, and it's a genius film. And all you're doing is just ripping it off. Dialogue through dialogue, shot through shot. Everything in this movie is just the same movie. And I fucking hate that. I really hate that. It's basically plagiarism, but it's plagiarism that was allowed because Hollywood says so. And I say, fuck that shit, and fuck this movie, and fuck yeah. So yeah, that was my top 10 worst horror movie remakes, in my opinion. So in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with the top 10 list? If not, what are your guys' top 10 least favorite horror movie remakes, in your opinion? Comment below, let me know, and as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.